Welcome to the Soul Infused Monday Show. So excited I'm here. I did a little break and happy to be back here. I'm going to wait a few moments because it takes some time for people to join. So if you are already watching this or listening in on the replay or live, leave me a comment so I know you can hear and see me. And if the sound is okay and if everything so far is good. My computer broke last week, and so I couldn't connect with my phone, so that's why I didn't go live. So today I have a fixed computer, and I hope it works out. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Petra. Jessica. Okay, you can see and hear me, I hope. Fantastic. Yes. I've missed you. I hope you missed me too. I am going to jump into today's topic in just a little bit, but I would love to hear from you. How are you doing? All perfect, well, fantastic. Okay. I invite you, as you are already here, while we are holding space for other people to jump in, to take a moment, to take a nice deep breath and just check in with you. How are you feeling right now? What's moving inside of you? How are you doing? And let me know in the comment sections. I'm not going to teach you any specific today. I'm going to share my journey. And if you're new to this show, so much happened in the last year, in the last 20 years, in the last 30 years. But I'm going to talk about my experience and some of my discoveries. I'm navigating through this chapter in my life that, let's call it menopause, premenopause, whatever that means, but the hormonal changes and how it affected me. And I learned so much. And I think this is going to be super valuable for any woman. It doesn't matter which age, if you're still on your cycle or if you are past menopause, whatever. It's also general women's health and hormones in regards or in connection with doing the inner work and being on your spiritual journey. So this is going to be, I think, most valuable if you've done some work already or if you're on this journey. And if you've not done that yet, so I hope this inspires you to go there. Let me take two more moments to check in with you guys because I've not been here live for a little bit and I want to hear how you're doing. Hi, Amy. Fantastic to see you here live. Tina, hello. Because who was that again? I don't see your name, but I'm happy to hear that you missed me. Okay, let's jump in. As a little recap, if you haven't seen my show last time, my last show where I shared very openly and transparently about what was happening with me hormonally, and I didn't put one-on-one together at first, so I didn't know that this was a hormonal issue. I was just suffering from severe depression, fatigue. I lost a lot of my hair. There was just a lot going on while I was traveling. So I had obviously also amazing times and amazing adventures over the last year. It has also been super, super challenging. The ups and downs were just unbelievable. And I am doing much better. I feel like slowly I'm figuring out what works. And I'm just going to share a little bit about that. I'm obviously only going to scratch the surface here because everything I've learned over the last few months or the last 12 months cannot even, grasp a little in this episode. But what's important for me is there is actually not even that much great information out there, especially if you are someone that is not only looking for the typical medical or Western medicine, or if you're doing a lot of energy healing and you are also someone that takes responsibility. Because what I see when it comes to women's health out there, and again, just from the bat, I'm not a doctor. I'm not giving you any advice here today. What I do is unique to me, and it might not work for everyone. So I'm only sharing a piece of my experience, and I'm going to apply it to the inner work and the energy healing work that I do, because that's my expertise. And I'm such a researcher, have always been since I've started the inner work journey. I'm a researcher of my inner work, of the inner psyche. of how energy affects us and how outer circumstances affect our energy. And even when I was in the deepest of depression, to the point that I had days where I just wanted to kill myself every day. At least that was the thoughts that I had in my mind. And even then I was like, what is happening energetically besides of me knowing it was hormonal? So I'm I'm just so dedicated. And I hope that over the next few months or a few years, maybe I can help a lot of women that are going through something similar. I paused writing my book. I paused a lot of things just to take care of myself, to take care of my energy, and to focus on getting back to myself. Because the most painful piece on this journey of this hormonal roller coaster was that I felt not connected with myself anymore. That I felt like I was as if I would have been taking over something and I had no control. So I don't know if you can relate to that in some ways, but coming back to myself and being reconnected and how I actually did that and what helped me through that, that's what I'm going to share a little bit, because it doesn't matter if it's hormonal or if it's depression or if it's health or if it's a relationship issue, whatever your struggle is, a part of this journey when it comes to inner work and energy, the solution is the same for all the issues. With the hormones, there's a little bit of a difference. So I'm just happy to be here. I'm so happy that I feel good. It's just so good to feel good again. It's just really good to feel good again. And at the same time, if I wouldn't have gone through this and I'm still navigating through this, I wouldn't be able to help others. So I see this also in a positive light and with a lot of purpose-driven intention, because a lot of women, when they're going through something similar, think there's something wrong with them, or they feel at least there's something wrong with them. So number one, I want to say, whether you need to hear this or someone else today, there is nothing wrong with you, even when you feel that there's something wrong with you, if that makes sense. From a spiritual perspective, from a self-worth perspective, from an existence perspective. You are not broken, even though you might feel broken. I had several moments where I revisited old trauma that I'm going to go into a moment, because that's going to be very relevant to you, especially if you do the inner work, where I felt like I was broken. Now, in that moment, I knew it wasn't true. You can still feel that way. To feel that way is one thing, but knowing that it's not a fact is very important. So it's very important to distinguish. Just sharing whatever comes up right now. So I feel like someone needs to hear this right now. That you feel a certain way, not good enough, broken, there's something wrong with you at moments in your life. That's okay to feel this way, but that does not mean that that's true. And there's a huge difference between saying I am broken versus I feel broken. Does that make sense to you? So I'm just wanting to put it out there. For some reason, I feel someone needs to hear this today. And I'm just tuning into you and connecting with you. And as a woman, I'm 51, I think. Yes, I'm 51. I'm turning 52 in May. And in the beginning of last year, when this is all happening, I didn't even put this one-on-one together, because I feel so much younger, in a sense. Like, I feel like, what, menopause? Like, what's that? And I never thought I never thought this would be an issue for me, because of all the work and all of my skills and the energy healing that I know. So it was not even something on my radar. So when that kind of happened, I wasn't aware of that. Once I was aware of that, I was looking into it. I learned a few things. I'm only going to share a few. Of course, from a hormonal perspective, the three most important hormones to look at when you are going to something hormonal as a woman is testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen. Again, I'm not a doctor or anything. I'm just sharing my experience. Total disclaimer. So you are responsible for whatever you do. And I started to take some small dosages of testosterone here that gave me my life back on some level. However, I knew that wouldn't be enough to balance all my hormones. What I didn't know then is women in around their 40s already are dropping progesterone. So it happens gradually. And of course, we might not notice right away, but it can happen that suddenly you feel such a dip that you might not think it is hormonal, especially if you've done a lot of work and you've been like in somewhere on a stable, I mean, like you are in a stable place where you've done some work, you can handle your mood swings or depression, and it comes up suddenly. It's easy to think that it's just the old that's coming up. However, there are two things to consider. Once that happens, when it drops too low, I mean, I'm just still amazed. I mean, it's just biochemistry. It's just mind-blowing to me, physical aspect of it. It can lead to different symptoms. It can lead to obviously depression. It can lead to severe hot flashes. I didn't have that, just minor. I didn't mind that at all. It can lead to sleep deprivation, like that you cannot sleep properly anymore. You can lose weight, dry hair, some other, a lot of other things. What mainly for me was really the mood swings and the depression and the hair loss. And no matter in that moment how much I was meditating and I was conscious of who I am, it changed it, but it helped me to manage it and survive it. I call it survive it. I might write a book sometime, how I survived menopause. But why this is really, it's important for me to share with you that you might not think it's hormonal, but it can be. And to test hormones and to balance them again, that's a big, big thing if it is hormonal. Now, in my case, I want to share that because that relates to inner work and the spiritual journey. It all got triggered back after surgery I had in 2021. I think, I don't remember the dates, doesn't even matter. And that triggered some old trauma. And through that old trauma that I was working through, I thought, okay, that's why I'm feeling so depressed. Now, even though the depression was 90% hormonal, there was an emotional attachment that kept blocking my own healing, my energy healing, the work that I was doing. And I had to, well, I didn't have to, I chose to do the work, to dig deeper and get support, to address deep layers of very old trauma, still related from the time that I was 16 years old, I had that surgery. If you don't know my story, it's maybe not relevant right now, but there was an attachment to self-hatred, an attachment to not feeling safe, an attachment to resentment that I was carrying in my system that got triggered to everything that was happening. So even though the depression was 90% mostly really hormonal driven, what created the intensity and the block of healing that quicker was that attachment. So the energy, the emotional attachments trigger and are connected also with the non-physical. So when you do the work, and if you don't do the work, do it, because it will help you, obviously. And I think that's the only really most important investment, because you can change the outer circumstances and it will make a difference, because it depends. You can change a lot on the outside. Who are you connected with? Who are you listening to? Who do you spend your time with? What do you spend your time with? How is your environment? You can change a lot in your outer environment that affects your energy. However, the most important thing is that you're really centered and connected within. Without meditation, without my awareness and consciousness and the level of knowledge I had, I don't know how I would have survived all of that. And you know what? I don't know, I'm talking so much, but I want to keep this as valuable as possible. I was talking to a lot of women in the last couple of months that had similar experiences when they were going through hormonal changes. And I was wondering how many women actually, or is there a statistic around menopause, depression, suicide? And I came across a study. I was not surprised that the most common age in women when they try to kill themselves or try to commit suicide is between the ages 45 to 55. So I was like, wow, it made total sense to me, but I'm pretty sure that most women don't even know that. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of women go through this not knowing that there's nothing wrong with them, that they think they're crazy or they think they're just depressed or whatever going on. They don't have the support, they don't have the knowledge, and they maybe don't even know that they can balance their hormones in addition to the inner work that can completely balance this out again. But I felt like I feel so compassionate because I never had any issues before. When I had my period, I didn't have any cramps. I never really suffered from it. I didn't feel emotional. So I just never really understood what hormones can do with you. So I have so much compassion for any woman that has gone through it, is going through it, will be going through this. So the combination for me to keep doing the deeper inner healing work made a huge, huge difference to release and let go of old attachments or emotional attachments. No matter how much work you've done, it was like an onion. I was peeling off the onion and there were things coming up for healing that were blocking the physical component of my healing. Okay, so I've been talking a lot. I want to hear from you. Does this make sense? Does this resonate? Is this valuable to you? Do you have any questions? I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to go over your comments here. So if there is something that you want to share, or if there's something, you have a question, again, I'm only scratching the surface here. And if you are in a place that you are looking for support, please reach out to me. I am as passionate as ever to help women and also men, but this is men and women are very different when it comes to hormonal health. And sadly, only now there is also more research and studies around women's health, because men and women are so different when it comes to hormones that there's not even that much support out there. Especially when you're going through something and you want to find out about it, it's still the medical background is still very based on the man versus the female. So lots still to discover. Okay, I'm going to go here real quick. And while I do so, I invite you to take a nice deep breath and tune in. What's resonating with you? What's actually resonating with you? What are you taking out of this conversation today? Your voice is so comforting, having another fresh struggle with grief. I hear you, Melissa. I'm with you. Exactly, not connected to self. I remember it starting in menopause, but continued in every area of my life. This big grief is redirecting me home. A divine message today from you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Yes. I am so sure there's so many women out there who suffer in silence and all by themselves and they don't even know what's going on. Yes, all trauma resurfacing, and yes, broken. Yes, I hear you. I definitely needed it today. Oh, thank you for saying that. Just for one woman that I make a difference, it's always worth it. I'm happy to hear that. Yes, me too. I couldn't understand why I finally felt my age. What a surprise. Yes, I know. This is a beautiful share, very important topic. Thank you so much, Lynn. Yeah. I was so lucky to go through my menopause with a lot of ease, but the emotional topic helps also for other topics to peel off all the layers. So true, Petra. And I'm happy that you said that, because that's not to mention that. As much as I've researched and spoken to a lot of women lately and done a lot of energy healing myself, every woman goes totally differently. There's some women who is nothing. Some women who, you know, struggle a little bit, and some women, I mean, a good percentage of men, I mean, it knocks them off their feet. And interestingly enough, on some level, when you're not in it anymore, when I was in it, I was just like, why did you give this to me? And on some level, I believe that because I went through this dark space, that I can help those who are in it in a different way that I could have done if I wouldn't have gone through this myself. Now, I don't know if I'm already on the other side. I feel pretty good right now. I'm starting with some bioidentical hormone replacement therapy in very small dosages, and I test it for myself. So how I do it, like I came here also to get a blood test. I have all the results of my hormones, and then I listen to the recommendation of that facilitator or doctor, whoever that is, and then I make my own choice out of what I test is best for me. And that has been working really well, but I'm really beginning on the stage. So I think in a couple of weeks, it should show how that works. And I'm also taking additional supplements to support my thyroid. The thyroid is super important also when it comes to hormones, obviously. The pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the pituitary gland and pineal gland is very, very much connected to the light in your head, the third eye, and that from an energetic perspective, in order to really connect to self and to self, also very relevant. There's so much. Oh my God, I could talk about this for hours. So as for today, I'm just going to leave it at that. I would love to hear from you. What's your takeaway from today's show? And if you know a woman, any woman, like it doesn't matter if you're 20 now, 30, 40, or 70, it is worthwhile to really tune in and look at both sides, to keep doing the work. Energy healing, extremely crucial. And I do believe that if you've not done the work, it's so much more difficult to navigate through this, because you literally don't even know who you are, and you fall very quickly into beliefs like that there's something wrong, you're good enough, or you know, you're broken or something. When you have that muscle built, even though you feel maybe terrible, you have it there, and you can rebuild very quickly or reconnect to it very quickly when it's built in a solid foundation. You want to have that solid foundation. And this journey again has only again, I mean, I've been doing this work for over 25 years, or maybe 20, 25, it doesn't matter, for a long time. I have helped hundreds of women out there in so many ways. And this is just another chapter. Inner work, energy-based meditation, energy work to help you connect to who you are deep inside, and to have that as a stable foundation is crucial for anything that you navigate in the outside. Doesn't matter if it's health, hormonal, relationship, finances, you name it. Ultimately, the solution is all the same. In addition, check your hormone level if that's something that could be something that also resonates with you, especially if you are, you know, 40, 50, 60, kind of in this range. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to jump off in a minute. Let me know, do me a favor, it means the world to me. Tune in. What is your biggest takeaway for today's show? For you personally, like what's your biggest takeaway? And share it with me in the comment section. If you're listening to this in a podcast and you cannot leave me a comment, send me a message, leave me a review. Either way, I love to hear from you and connecting with you. And it has been so wonderful to be here with you today. I'm soaking up all of your insights and experiences you are ahead of me on this journey. Oh, Jessica, yes, I'm so happy that, you know, anyone that hears before it's there can shorten and save a lot of suffering and pain, because yeah, you kind of have a heads up. It may doesn't even happen to you, but just in case. This is such an important topic. Also loving hearing your insights. Hi, Amy. Just got here, love. Amy, lots of Amy's here today. I so agree that doing the inner work will help any woman navigate this time. I find that it's helped lots with my cycle. Yes, thank you for sharing. It is just so true. One of the takeaways to care about myself before doing anything else. Yes, oh, I love that. Everybody tune into that. Everybody tune into that. Taking care of self. Yes. Well, thank you so much for being here today. So wonderful to have you. I hope I see you again next Monday. As I'm navigating this chapter of my life, I will keep you posted. I am very transparent because I think it's also a topic that is actually not spoken about so much out there, especially not when you're going through it, and especially also in the realm of women who are actually on their spiritual journey and have done a lot of work. There is not so much out there. At least I didn't find much. So I'm totally dedicated to using my journey, my pain, my struggle, and my insights and my knowledge and everything to help you in any way I can. I wish you a fantastic rest of the day. Much love. Have a soul-infused Monday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.